Excellent. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. So, hello everybody and welcome to today's Tom Talk. My name is Theresa Galsser. I am the Senior Director for the FAST Traffic Management Center, a division of the Regional Transportation Commission of Southern Nevada. In case you wanted to know what FAST stands for, it is the Freeway and Arterial System of Transportation. So really, that's the focus of what we do here at the FAST Traffic Management Center for over 20 years now. Our team works side by side with many other agencies throughout the valley and here at this facility to oversee traffic operations and incident management on both the freeways and arterial streets in the Southern Nevada region. We do this on behalf of the Nevada Department of Transportation and our local jurisdictional partners. Let me first start by telling you a little bit about the Regional Transportation Commission of Southern Nevada, because we do wear many hats. We are very unique in that respect. The RTC of Southern Nevada is the metropolitan planning organization for the Southern Nevada region. We do the custodial allotment for the roadway funding for the Southern Nevada jurisdictions. We are the Regional Transit Authority for Southern Nevada. We are the traffic manager here at the FAST Center for Southern Nevada, and we also run the only recognized bike share program in all of Southern Nevada. Here at the FAST Center, we are so lucky to be co-located with Nevada Department of Transportation, Nevada Highway Patrol, and the Department of Public Safety. This building was originated back in 2004, and we were stood up with this model because we recognize that by all of us working together in one location, we were going to be able to compound the effectiveness of all of our communication and our actions as it relates to traffic management and public safety. Here in Southern Nevada, there are, let's see if we can get the numbers to come up, 2.3 million residents. There are 42 million visitors annually to the Southern Nevada region, where Las Vegas is located. So we are very fortunate that we are both an entertainment and sports destination for many people throughout the world. Here in Southern Nevada, this is just a quick time snap of from when this facility was first built back in 2005, all the way to what it looks like in the Southern Nevada region in 2025. The growth has been more than what we really could have expected when this facility was first built. So we realized that we needed to do a lot to keep up with how this valley is growing and to meet the needs, not just of the residents, but for all of that tourism that really is the economic engine of Southern Nevada. So let's talk about TSMO for a minute and why this is so very important. TSMO, as you know, is Transportation System Management and Operation, which truly is what we do here at the FAST Center. Why this is so important is because we realize we cannot continue just to build our way out of having congestion on our roadways. What we need to do is we always need to look for ways to optimize our existing infrastructure with a focus on all of the other TSMO components like system reliability, collaboration. How do we shift the culture here in Southern Nevada and within our own agencies to make sure that we're always thinking about maximizing our transportation management and operations before we look for capacity-driven solutions. So really it comes down to thinking differently, because I think as engineers, we always want to build, and maybe building isn't the first option we should be looking at. We should really be looking at ways to better manage the performance of our existing infrastructure. What is FAST responsible for in here in Southern Nevada? Well, all 1,600 plus traffic signals in the Southern Nevada region, FAST is the operator of all of those. We do that on behalf of the local jurisdictions so that all of the valley flows smoothly together and you don't have friction between jurisdictional boundaries. We also have about 1,100 traffic cameras throughout the Southern Nevada region. About 300 of them are located on the major freeways as part of the NDOT interstate and freeway infrastructure. The remaining ones are on most of our major signalized intersections. We do ramp metering here at in Southern Nevada. We have a combination of 168 dynamic message signs or active traffic management gantries, which are those more enhanced message signs with arrow over lane control. There's also wrong way detection warning systems on 8 of our freeway ramps. And all of this is all interconnected by almost 1,000 miles of fiber optic network communication, bringing all of these field devices back here for us to utilize at the Traffic Management Center. What do we do on a daily basis? Well, we manage the unplanned incidents. Yes, we do occasionally get snow here in Southern Nevada, but it is highly unusual. We also have other completely unplanned incidents. This one happens to be of a lithium battery fire for a truck that was hauling materials. These are all things that are completely unplanned, and yet we need to be ready to respond to them on a moment's notice and get that message out, not just to our residents, but to our visitors, to our motorists, people traveling along the freeway and interstate corridors, to our freight network so that they know how to plan their travel time accordingly. In 2024, the FAST team managed the traffic support for over 13,000 crashes, 237 road closures, 126 disabled vehicles, and over 83 vehicle fires. This includes both on the local roadways as well as on the actual surface streets. How do we do things like this? Well, we use a platform. It was originally called Waycare, and now it is renamed as Recore. This is where we log all of our incidents. Incidents are coming in real time into this platform. They're coming from a variety of different sources, including from our partnerships with law enforcement, first responders. The Recore platform is also sourcing open data from the internet, from social media, and it's aggregating that and giving us, with a certain level of confidence and reliability, the potential for incidents and where they might be located, which we then backtrack and see if we can find them on camera to make a positive confirmation. As I mentioned before, the RTC also is the Regional Transit Authority. So once we locate an incident, we're going to not only message it to the traveling public, we're also checking it against our 39 fixed routes to seeing if it's going to cause a disruption on our transit network and how to proactively manage that in real time as well. What we do with this information, we get about 10,000 inquiries per year from the public. We send out about 23 traffic alerts to the public every year. And we also post over 3,000 unique messages on our DMS and our active traffic management signs on the freeway. We absolutely believe that keeping the public informed is helping them make better choices as they're leaving the house or leaving their point of origin, throughout their trip if conditions are changing, and upon arrival at their destinations. We also make sure that we are working with technology providers. So we want to be sharing this information not just with our subscribers here at the RTC, but we also want to be sharing it with our partnerships with navigation apps like Waze. Waze takes in our information as well as shares information that their users are putting in to see if we need to confirm incidents that their users are reporting. We are a trusted partner with Waze, so you will actually see reported by FAST come up, and that means that it has been confirmed by our traffic management center that there is an incident on a location. We also recognize that Google is a parent company of Waze. So once incidents are confirmed in the Waze platform and they exist in the platform for a certain length of time, I think it's over 15 minutes, then they automatically escalate and get moved up to the Google Maps platform as well. We also share with Apple Maps. We share with our transit provider, who is sharing this out to the public through our transit application Swiftly, and giving our transit users real-time information on any road closures or incidents that are occurring that may be affecting their preferred route that they're taking. Here in Southern Nevada, we handle many, many things. One of them just happens to be regional events. Regional events are so critical to our daily operations. We need to understand what they're doing and how that overlapping effect, especially during their peak ingress and egress, are going to be impacting traffic patterns. So in 2024, just for major events, so anything that was more than 10,000 attendees, we tracked over 1,700 of them. We actively worked 225 of these regional events, and we did programming for signal timing at 31 different venue locations for their ingress and egress patterns. Some of these events included the 2024 Super Bowl. They include the annual Formula One race event, which is actually only 2 weeks away here in the Southern Nevada region, which is run on Las Vegas Boulevard itself, a public right-of-way during the evening. The Las Vegas Marathon, events over at the Sphere, events at the Las Vegas Convention Center. Just for example, the Convention Center hosts the Consumer Electronics Show every January, which generally has about 140,000 people attending that per day. As well as some of the local smaller arenas throughout the valley. This is Lee's Family Forum down in our city of Henderson. Over at UNLV, University of Nevada, Las Vegas, their Thomas and Mack Center, and North Las Vegas's Craig Ranch Regional Park. Additionally, here at FAST, we are responsible for the signal operations throughout all of Southern Nevada. We do this, as I mentioned, because we are interconnected to these signals, so we can change their signal timing as we need to handle incidents and special events. In addition to that, we typically run about 7 different time of day patterns at all of these 1,600 intersections to better manage weekday, AM, midday, and PM peak activity, as well as special weekend patterns. This is necessary for us to continually make sure that we're evaluating our local intersections, our roadways, our trip generators, and seeing what is changing on the network. We recognize that post-pandemic, so coming out of 2020 and 2021, many travel patterns here in Southern Nevada had changed substantially. So we made a plan to go through all of our major arterials, our 1 mile spaced arterials, and do a retiming on those signal timing plans. This has taken several years to get through all of them and all of those time of day patterns. We did develop our own unique grid timing algorithm to help us make sure that we're maximizing our green bands through the signal timing process so that we can improve our throughput and reduce our delays. We believe that you absolutely must be tracking your performance, because you can collect all the data in the world, but if you're not tracking how it's performing operationally, and if you're seeing improvements or need to make adjustments, you're missing the bigger piece of the puzzle. So we actually went ahead and created the arterial performance management dashboard. We share this with all of our partner agencies. As we've gone through the retiming process, you can see right in the platform. I don't know if I can make it play. Maybe. You can see in the platform all of the different intersections where we've retimed them, which period we retimed them during, how many signals were in each group that was retimed, and then the overall historical performance for each one of these retiming efforts. The last thing that I do want to talk about is construction. Here in Southern Nevada, with everything that is continuing to grow and build, which we're really excited about, comes a certain level of construction. Paving season here in Southern Nevada typically begins around March and can go all the way until October, with peak paving season in the middle of summer having potentially up to 500 different active work zones at any given day. We wanted a better way to try to understand what's happening in real time. So we tried a pilot project with a company called One Network, their Causeway project. This allowed us to see in real time information about work zones if they were active. It also served as a work zone traffic management plan permit repository. It showed improvements in workflow efficiency and allowed the data to come through an API into our active RECORE platform if we wanted to see the work zones populated against our active traffic management. Here's just an example of the actual Causeway platform. This is on Flamingo Road at Koval. This was during the construction of the grandstands for the F1 race. And what we were able to do is actually have this construction zone mapped in real time when it would be reduced down to one lane in each direction. And we were better able to send out messaging to the public and open up additional signal timing patterns on adjacent arterials to help navigate this. So I know I've gone through a lot of information. I think we're coming up just on the end of my slides. So I wanted to thank everybody and hope that you understand a little bit of some of those traffic operations strategies that we're implementing here in Southern Nevada to keep the public traveling more safely and smoothly. Be happy to take any questions.
Right. Thanks, Theresa. That was an excellent presentation. And yeah, it looks like there's a lot going on in Vegas. So you had mentioned some platforms, RECORE, your work zone management, and some others. And then you also mentioned how everyone's co-located in your space there. How is that all coordinated with the platform and like for incident management and work zone management, and what is your agency's role in all of that? It's probably a big question, but if you could just kind of lay the landscape on that, how does that all work?
Absolutely. So thank you for that question, Nick. Let me unpack that a little bit. So because we are co-located here at the Traffic Management Center with the Nevada Department of Transportation, Department of Public Safety, Highway Patrol, they are all using the Spillman CAD system. That is how typically law enforcement is used to track most of their real-time incidents. We did not want that level of personally identifiable information. We wanted just the bare bones of what is the nature of the incident, where is the potential location for it, so just the GPS points, and we wanted a timestamp. So what we asked is if we could have just that level of information extracted from the CAD system and shared into our RECORE platform. Initially, RECORE was being shared with the Highway Patrol, Nevada Department of Transportation, and FAST. The RTC managed that contract on behalf of the three agencies. What we realized is it added another operational platform for the troopers, for the dispatchers, and for the Nevada Department of Transportation team to have to manage. And they already had their hands full with a lot of other tasks and responsibilities and their own Spillman CAD system. So we reduced that footprint back just down to FAST for the RECORE information, but we do have that connection of real information flowing in from that CAD system, which has been vitally important. We've also partnered with our other law enforcement, so the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, our Clark County Fire Department. We're getting all of that information from a platform called PulsePoint. If you're not familiar with PulsePoint, that might be something you might want to look up and see is regionally available. A lot of fire departments throughout the nation are sharing their CAD information with PulsePoint. And what it is allowing is real-time identification of where fire is being dispatched to in the nature of that fire incident. Since here in Southern Nevada, fire usually responds to most car crashes, we found that information to be vitally useful and a second point of confirmation. So with that, we also have some other platforms. So that's just the RECORE one. As I mentioned, we also have the One Network platform. That was a year-long pilot that we went into. RTC was the administrator of that contract. And then the Clark County and City of Las Vegas partnered with us on that pilot project to see if that was going to be a valuable tool for them to help improve efficiency and share real-time construction work zone information. The project was successful, and I think right now it's up to the local agencies to decide if they want to continue it for their individual agencies or not. So we are no longer continuing on in that platform unless the local agencies decide that that's something that they would prefer.
Great. Okay, I got one more question for you. And that was, thank you for that response. So in the TOM, and this is in the chapter 19, we highlight RTC's website as a model website when it comes to traveler information and traffic management information. So overall, how is that website handled? And you know, you don't have to give us specific numbers, but what is the most used part of that website, and what's important about it? And how did that all come about, I guess, overall with just getting all that, because there's a lot of information there. And so how is that all handled, and how do you guys manage that whole website?
So, thank you for bringing that up. I really do appreciate it. We wanted to make sure from the get-go that we weren't the agency that just collected data and then it resided in a library of books that nobody wanted to read. We wanted to make sure that what we were doing was intentional, and more importantly, that it was actionable. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to look at the data that was coming in and say, what is that specific answer that this is providing? What is that question that the public is asking? And how do we give them that information in a way that is user-friendly, and so that they feel like that question, whether it be, am I going to run into construction? Is a roadway closed? How do I find your traffic counts? Where do they find all of that in one single location? And that's really what we were trying to achieve with the RTC's website, is to make sure that that information for those most asked questions was readily available so that people can make informed decisions and take an action based on what we were providing for them.